But I don't feel like if I love someone, if I'm dating someone, if I'm in love with the person, that I would be practicing 50-50. Hello, my name is Gus, but you can call me the Radio Rockstar.
And I'm Ilo, aka Ilo with the Flow, you already know.
We are live on Bella Naija to discuss mentality with Ebuka.
Yeah, we're dissecting relationship part 1 and 2. We've got a bunch of questions here on the card, so we'll get right into it. I'll go first. Okay. I like this one. What does love mean to you? Interesting question.
I think love for me is kindness. I mean, over time it's evolved to so many things, but it's nested in my being as kindness. I don't think that anybody who says they love me and they're not kind towards genuinely loves me. You have to be kind. You know, and that is something that I hold seriously. I care about seriously because there are a lot of people who they say they love you, and the way they show it is, for example, a guy says he loves a girl and the only thing he does is give money, you know? But there's some level of kindness that you show and it's evident in the relationship where, because you're kind as a person, you cannot conceive the idea of your partner being sad, you know? So it bothers you a lot. And so that's why for me, on a personal level, you can't say you're in love with me and not be kind.
So let me play devil's advocate here, because I remember in part 2 of relationships, they talked about how people express love through their love languages and expect people to also express love to them by their love. So if, for example, now you're with someone whose love language is gift giving, right? And the person just believes that if I bombard you with gifts, then you should be okay. Yeah, exactly. In a situation like that where maybe they did something a bit unkind and as opposed to acknowledging that they just want to bombard you with gifts, do you think that means they don't love you?
I think that they're not understanding the concept of love and the way I understand love. I feel like, your love language shouldn't only be the love language that you ascribe to yourself. It should also be the one that your partner appreciates. So for example, if my love language is acts of service and my partner's love language is quality time, just because I'm helping her to do certain things in the house or whatever, doesn't mean that she would appreciate it if I'm not spending time with her. So it's important that you understand that your love language is great, but that of your partner is also important.
I remember Banky told a story about himself and this one, how this exact thing you just stated, because her love language was quality time and his is act of service. So he was just like, you don't come out, you don't wear suits, you want to go, you don't do everything. But this was like, yo, you know that you're speaking different love language. I just took off everything. I went and stayed with his wife in bed and everything was okay. Fair enough. You go.
All right. So my question is, share a really sweet love moment that you kind of forget.
It is sweet love moment. So first of all, I married the love of my life. So
voila.
Every time.
Single people in peril.
Well, not every time, but a lot of the times is a sweet love moment. I can't pick one. I think that's unfair. I think that's really unfair. There's a lot of things in our relationship have been, like, I always tell her that I can't remember being with anybody else. Like, it almost feels like I've never been with anyone else since I've been with her, because every moment has been significant and unique and just amazing, and there's been a love moment, a memory that has just sort of stayed with me. I think even before I asked her to be my girl, right? I was in a situation, I was working, and the fact that she put her job at risk to go online and thrash this company to the point where it became a whole viral thing. And I remember even her job was being threatened. Like, someone was telling her boss at the time that tell her to take it down, they'll fire her or something like that. And I just thought, because this was me fighting for other people, and this is someone now choosing to fight for me, even in the middle of a busy schedule and everything. I just thought, that's, like, for me, that was something. Right? And then I decided, okay, I need to match this energy, right? So I went all the way to where she was working to go and ask her to be my girl. I didn't tell her I was coming down there. I surprised her. So, like, there's just been moments right from the get-go of our relationship that has just sort of stayed with me all through.
Do you think if roles were reversed, that you would have put your job at risk?
100%.
No. Before you asked her to be your girl.
Yes, 100%. The funny thing is that we were very much into each other, and we just didn't want to admit it. And I remember we said, we don't want to put labels or anything, blah blah blah. But we're doing things that you can't do for someone that's just your friend. Just casual. Friend. You understand? Just casual, exactly. So I definitely would put my job 100% on the line. I was putting my job on the line for people that I did not have romantic love for. So it's cool.
So my second question to you: what do you think is the biggest threat to relationships these days? Is it social media, overstimulation, finances, the likes? What do you think?
Oh, my brother, is everything. Let me remove my glass for this one. It's no, honestly, it's everything. There's so much out there that threatens long-lasting relationships. There's so much negative energy out there. But on the flip side, there's so much fakeness from social media.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is, there's a side of social media that only shows the positive, beautiful aspect of relationships. And if you're consuming that, then you don't expect the negativity. And when it comes, it catches you off guard. Then there's a side of social media that just focuses on negativity.
Yeah.
So if you then are someone who's consuming that, when it then comes to you find yourself in a relationship with someone who's being sweet or kind or speaking your love language, you are on guard, right? You are waiting for the other shoe to drop because you are just like, this is not what they told me. Or this one I lie. It's fake.
Yeah.
One day you see the real person.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like those things kill relationships. People don't give people a genuine chance. Humans are less tolerant. People come into relationships expecting the other person to be perfect. When you yourself, you're not perfect. It's like, there's just so much around it. And I feel like the realistic nature of a relationship that takes time and effort and consistency and patience and tolerance to grow
is not there.
Is dying gradually.
Okay. So you would put social media as a bigger threat as opposed to finances?
Yeah, I feel, so with finances, I feel like if you find your person and you guys are able to understand each other, you can work around it. In my opinion, I feel like money is a tool. That's how I see money.
Yeah.
Money is a tool. And if you're with the right person and you guys are building together, like Alex was saying, you can build and that money will find its way. Do you understand? In there. But if you don't have it, see, there are people that, I know that people say, oh, I'd rather cry in the Bentley than cry in the car. But there are some situations where that crying in the Bentley, it will tire you.
Exactly. You'll be crying non-stop. And people will see you like, oh, I can't even see the face because the car is really nice. But, you're dying literally.
It's not worth it. All right. Arrange this in order of importance when it comes to relationships. Finances, commitment, love, and respect. Respect. I find it interesting. Respect is in there.
Okay, so I think for me, the first has to be commitment. And I say this because I feel like, when people are in a relationship, there are times where, of course, the honeymoon phase will pass. The honeymoon phase could be like a month or two, and then you're done with that. What keeps you in that relationship, as when you both are exclusive, is the determination and the decision from both parties to make it work. To say to yourself that regardless of how this man is making me feel now, or regardless of how this girl is acting up right now, I still want to be here. I still want to make it work because we both like each other. Or at least at one point in time, we used to like each other. So I want to make it work. And it's testament to what I think you mentioned Banky had said, with the instance where, this one was... The air was tense.
The air was tense.
And so he got back to the house and he was like, he just took off his clothes and went to the bed and hugged her and she cried. And when I saw that episode, I was like, I love Banky and Susu, but why didn't you just say, this is the issue? Just open your mouth and say this is why, But and that's another issue that I think is common with the other gender, because you can easily just say, you're pissing me off,
no.
or you did this, or they wouldn't.
You are Superman. You have to figure it out.
You have to like don't.
Okay, so commitment comes first.
Yes.
Finances, love, and respect. How we.
I think love obviously is the second.
Okay.
And for me, like I mentioned earlier, love is kindness. You have to be kind. That would be number 2. Respect number 3, because I feel like there are instances where you could be in a relationship and even with all of the money, your partner just doesn't respect you. It's hard to conceive, but it does happen. So I think
one couple comes to mind, but
I thought about it too. But let's move on. And then of course
we don't want lawsuits out here.
It's finances. So it's commitment, it's love, it's respect, it's finances at the end.
Okay, fair enough. I like how everybody is just like finances last. But then there are people out there that's like
no, they will say, don't mind this figure, they're scandalous, but yeah.
But if you found yourself in a relationship with a woman who earns significantly more than you, do you think that would affect that relationship or your reaction to her in that relationship?
So the thing is, ask me the question again because
significantly more.
I think to be very honest, I'm of the mindset that I should be in a relationship where I can provide,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind if my partner earns a lot more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to be in a situation where I have to depend on them for certain things. I don't know if that makes sense. So I could be earning, say, for example, 1.5 million per month, and my partner earns 10 million. It wouldn't bother me because the 1.5 million, so to speak, for example, could get me by and take care of stuff in the house. It wouldn't bother me. But if it was a situation where I was earning, 150,000 naira, no disrespect to people who earn that, and then my partner was earning 5 million, and for the house to get by, I'd have to consult and say, okay, how are we going to do it? I think gradually the respect will start to recede. I think it will get to the point where it's almost like you get a situation where you want to make a decision and she's like, why didn't you consult me first? Because at the end of the day, she's providing the bulk of the cash.
But you know that someone who's earning 10 to someone who's earning 1.5, you are collecting their tithes. Salary. So, and the reason why I bring this up is because I like that you gave that analogy. And the reason why I bring this up is because in a situation like that, the person who earns more, significantly more, has a different outlook on life. Their taste is different.
Yes.
The things that they consider expensive compared to someone who earns less is different.
Yeah.
So either you are earning 1.5, maybe something of 500k. It's cost.
It's cost.
Should we buy that much 500k for ourselves?
And that's another issue because for someone like me who is, on a personal level, I'm very frugal,
Yeah.
And I don't mind. If I have the money, I can cater for my partner and let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But it always comes down to the point where you start to consider the spending nature, even though it's not your money, because of the way your genetic makeup or the ideology that you have. You start to see, yes,
is
it
but then can you say something?
You can't, because it's not your money, really.
But then, so that's the question: should you be able to say something? Because regardless of the fact that you're earning more, we are partners.
Yes.
And it's your money, you work hard for it, but we are partners.
But then it gives credence to the statement that people make on social media where they say, my money is our money.
Now women talk about
our money is her money, and then your money is our money. So,
you know what? I think, Gus, that we have now figured out that from now on, the person earning more, my money is our money.
It's our money.
Your money.
Oh my
as long as you are the one anymore, that your money is our money now. So I don't care whether it's the man or the woman anymore. You that you're collecting more money.
You know what? Since we're talking about this, I remember off the clip, one of the episodes with Mentality with Ebuka. I think Johnny Drill, by the way, who's my Edo brother. Edo brother.
Yeah.
Mentioned that at one point in time, he didn't think he was financially ready to get married.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I want to ask, do you think there's ever a time where a man is financially ready? Is that something that's your thought process? Do you think? When you got married, did you think you were financially ready? Did that thought occur to you?
No, I was not financially ready when we got married. I was not. But it does occur to you, and it should. Look, I'll be very realistic and tell you this: that to have a happy home, a happy wife, a happy family, you need money. I'm not saying that money is the center of happiness, but I'm saying it is an ingredient. You know how when you are cooking soup, if you don't put Maggi, you put salt, it will taste off. You put salt, you put Maggi,
balance.
You don't put pepper. You need balance. And finances are very important.
They are.
Very, very important. So, for example, I reckon with Johnny in that regard that when we were getting married, I wasn't as financially ready as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Right? But it was a situation where we are partners and we made it work. We pulled resources together and we made it work. But I do think that it's important for you as a man to have a level of, a level you want to get to where you're like, okay, at this level, I think I can do this. So even though I was not as financially ready as I wanted to be, we could afford to do a wedding. So it's like, okay, let's do it. Do you understand? But then it's like, you don't want to be in a situation where you can't even afford and you're not saying you want to marry. Yeah. Oh, will you feed your guests? They will drink your blood.
No, they just do cut wedding. Everybody say kisses.
Everybody, yeah.
And send your
gift. My brother even cut wedding, they go come. Even when your child, when you born pikin, we do naming, you do dedication, they will come.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you host people.
Oh my God.
When they do first birthday, you host people.
Are they not aware of the government, the economy?
Yeah, so you do have to be financially ready to understand. After watching the episode, what part of the conversation stood out to you the most and why?
The episode with Bovi and Do2dtun and Banky and of course Ebuka. I think it was the part where Banky said something that I really really hit me hard. He said, in a marriage, or maybe in this case, in my case, in a relationship, you're supposed to enjoy it, not endure it. And I felt like that was very profound because, a lot of times, again, when you're done with the honeymoon phase, because that's when the true you comes out, or your partner comes out, because all of that sweet nothingness and the butterflies that you feel, they start to ebb away.
But why though?
I don't know. I feel like it's just the excitement of, okay, I remember when I got my iPhone 15 at the time, and if I was chatting with somebody, it doesn't matter who the person is. I'm not going to the restroom with that phone. It will be on the bed. And when I drop it on the bed, I'm dropping it like this. But now I just toss it. Pew, 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 pew. It can hit the bed and fall on the ground. It's gone. It's the same with relationships. When you're in that relationship and you both have had that period where you guys excited to, you talk every time on the phone, you check your WhatsApp calls, and this person's name is top. It gets to the point where naturally, it's like they expect it to happen. You get bored. It just moves on. It's not, the spark is there, but it's just residual. It's not out there.
I have a different experience completely, but it's fine. It's fine.
You see, it's rubbing it on our faces now. We don't have. It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry. Back to the answer.
So yeah, I think the part where you said you enjoyed and not endured, and I think that it's something that is pertinent or prevalent in a number of relationships and of course marriages, because I can't speak on the marriage because I'm not married, but just generally relationships, because at some point you start to feel like you're just here for the ride and you're not getting that spark anymore. So you just endure. Your partner is visibly irritable at the decisions that you make, or you are getting upset about things that they do, and you get frustrated, and things just boil, at the point, and you don't know if you still want to be there. And so that's why I said, commitment also, comes to play, because you now just have to decide and say, I want to make this work, and then you both have a sit down and discuss it and find a way to take it to the next level and move past it. It reminds me of, please don't quote me, but I think I read somewhere one time where I think it was Omotola who said that, at a point in her life, she and her husband decided that they've had their kids, they just want to fly to some place and have a good time and reignite that spark. And I love stuff like that. It means that it shows that they understand that even though they are married, they want to constantly be in love. Because again, and so another reason why I always say, please, when you fall in love, make sure you also like the person. Because you can be in love and not like the person. Some of us, a good example, a lot of people are in families where you don't necessarily like your siblings, but you love them. You don't. Your siblings, you don't. But if they ask you, will you be friends with your siblings? Big fan of them, no, you're not. Nah, come on now. And credit to Asha, she said they say blood is thicker than water, but some friends are more loyal than friends. How she said, but
even the Bible says it, that there are friends that are closer to you than brothers.
Yeah. So I think that was the part that really got to me. I was like, Banky is definitely spot on this, and I really resonate with that. And I feel like when you're in a relationship, you have to make conscious effort to find the spark again, so you're enjoying the relationship and not enduring it.
I like that you said that point, like make the conscious effort to find the spark, because if the spark dies, there's a reason why it died.
Yes.
As long as the spark existed in the beginning, there's a reason why it died. Yeah. So I like that you followed that.
All right. So by the way, there's a clip that I want you to watch off of the Mentality with Ebuka.
They don't want their husband to be seen a certain way. I've seen situations where people go out, the wife slips her card to the husband so that he can pay. That happens.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the waiter to think, pay for me. I'm fine. But these are things that, these are scenarios that happen a lot where this whole money thing, it feels like it's so fundamental to relationships.
Yeah.
Especially today where everything seems so transactional. When you just look at social media, it's about, everybody talks about, what are you bringing to the table? This table. It's all about money. And that's what I was wondering, it's interesting to just hear that, in your situation, that happened, and so what?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Yeah.
So based off that clip now, do you have a problem with your wife footing the bill, or just generally, women footing the bills and making it obvious, or stating that they foot the bill? Is that a problem?
I guess so. The question for me is she footing all the bills or some of the bills, right? In my current marriage, we are in a partnership where.
Wait, so you say your current marriage? Are you moving to on that
one? No, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now,
as
I'm married now.
Let's clarify before you reach out to already.
We're in a partnership. We always support each other, right? just like Banky, I'm a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I believe that the woman is the helpmeet. And what the helpmeet does is, she meets you at a point where, you are, I guess, maybe climbing a ladder, and she helps get
Elevate
you there.
you.
And then when you get there, you help pull her up. Do you understand? So for me, it's not a problem. As long as we have a conversation about it. Like in the house right now, there are things that I do and there are things that she does.
Yeah.
You understand? There are things that I'm comfortable allowing her do. I'm just like, you can do this, that's fine.
Yeah.
And there are some things that I just wouldn't let her do. Not because she doesn't have the financial capacity to do it, but just because I would rather just do that myself, or I'd just rather do that for the house or for us or for you.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable. It doesn't bother me too much. As long as we talk about it, we have an agreement, and we can go ahead.
It's so interesting. But for me, I feel like it will bother me. I do hope that it doesn't get to the point where my partner is the one who is going to be footing the bills, because I understand what Ebuka meant when he said it can be emasculating sometimes for some people. I just would be more comfortable, like you've said, it will be best when you have conversations of that nature with your partner. If your partner is more financially buoyant, for lack of a better word, But I would be very, very comfortable, if that never happened in my situation. If it did, it's fine.
So what you're saying is you want to foot all the bills. Every single bill.
Just like you said, you're spiritual. I'm very traditional. Not traditional in the sense that I don't serve God. Traditional in the sense
I get what you mean.
The concept of the man being the provider. It sits with me so deeply. It's with respect to people who do 50-50, I think it's a very gallant idea. But I don't feel like if I love someone, if I'm dating someone, if I'm in love with the person, that I would be practicing 50-50. I think it would be my responsibility.
So God forbid you're going through a phase. God forbid. You're going through a phase.
Yeah.
Right? A dry spell, so to speak.
Yeah.
And your partner now decides, okay, babe, this is happening. I know it's just a dry spell, just for a bit. Right? Let me chip in.
I mean,
You're going to bet you.
It will bother me. I'm not gonna lie, it will bother me that she's now taking up that responsibility, because I want her to live her best life. Like just be flexing. It will bother me. But invariably, if it's something that is very hellish or problematic or we need to solve, then she can do it. Sure. But don't be surprised that there are people or men who, in that scenario, they would rather go outside to borrow than have their partner foot the bill.
Yeah, but then isn't that like your ego speaking? And isn't that
it's weird? Ego now.
Why are you in a relationship with someone if both of you can't be able to pull resources together and say, okay, you know what, we're in this? Because I don't want my person outside know
your situation.
Yeah,
but that's the thing now. It's the same way when you have issues.
If you go borrow, what do you call a 30 person?
Yeah, but it's the same thing now. I'm not speaking about you directly, but like it's the same issue where when people have differences in their relationship, instead of going to a marriage counselor, the guy will go to his friend and their friends and they have conversations about it instead of sitting at home and solving the
that one. I fisty.
Yeah, but the money
because when does you know your where they hook you money wise. It's a nasty thing, no. I'd rather my wife knows that and like we sort it out amongst ourselves. And one day I'm just like, you know what? Let me just remember that time that you did that thing. Let me just surprise you and just boom.
Scatter everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? Scatter everywhere. That kind of thing. It's all good. It's all good. Me too. I have a clip for you. All right.
I don't know if I should say this, but I personally feel monogamy is a social construct. You get what I'm saying?
Valid point. Finish your point. Because I was having a conversation earlier with someone before we came on here about this monogamy thing.
Right.
And I was like, in 10 years, do you think monogamy could be going extinct? Where a lot of phrases and terms are becoming normal. Polyamory, poly this, poly that. And everybody's cheating. Okay, maybe not everybody.
Not everybody.
There's this perception that
everybody's cheating. That's not accurate, actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's my question. Do you agree on Bovi's statement about monogamy being a social construct?
To a large extent, yes. I think research basically suggests that the entire scope or idea of monogamy was a way to make sure that the kids had a parental presence, so to speak, because back in the early days, it was very easy for a man to be with a woman and be with that woman and be with that woman. And then while one of the kids or the offspring would have all of the attention, the others would naturally suffer. And so they wanted, inclusivity or parental presence in the lives of the kid. And that's what the research has shown. And I think for so many other factors as well, religiosity also as limited the number of companions or partners that you can
Say
have.
limited the number.
that you
Jesus said one and one only.
that you can have, you know.
Yeah.
So I think if you let men or women run feral or just be their natural self, they probably want to have more, you know, as we've seen in multiple cases. I think human species are the only, or one of the very few species that have that monogamous. You see the felines like the cats and the lions and all. You know,
No, but that's it now. We're not animals now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we're
I'm just,
animals. We're
higher animals, you know. So I'm saying, like, you know, as a species, I think humans are the only ones who play by that rule, and that is because society has conditioned us to be monogamous. Basically, that's
okay. Fair enough. But in my opinion, I feel like I did do some research on this, and only 2% of the world are in a polygamous household. And that is quite small.
But they still cheat now.
Right?
They can stay with their partner, but cheat.
Do you know anyone who wants to be in a polygamous household? Do you want to have 2 wives?
I don't want to have 2 wives.
Exactly. Do you want to deal with? I mean, you want to deal with having 2 wives or more?
But I mean, come on now. We're seeing some elder statesman, you know.
Yeah, but then what's going on with him now? What's happening now with that situation?
That's on a lighter note. But to be honest, I think I feel like it's a lot easier to just let people do what they want to do. If they want to be monogamous or polygamous, let them do it. It saves you a lot of heartache. If you agree that, look, in this relationship is an open kiniko, you know, I am in love with you, but I can be in love with another person. And if that works for you and your partner, that's fine. It just doesn't work for me and my pockets. So.
Well, I have a weird take on this. I believe people who are married are selfish, and I believe people who are not married are greedy. That's my take. I believe as a person, it's selfish of you to want this person all to yourself.
Yeah.
And vice versa for the other person.
Yes.
And I believe for you to have a strong opinion against marriage, you're just a greedy person that just wants everything.
Well,
you want as many people as... So don't directly, like, you know, greed, but you get what I mean. Like, you want to eat your cake and have it.
Absolutely. I mean, at different stages or phases in your life, that happens where you want to have a bite of this and that and all of that. But at some point, it's also down to the fact that you've experienced a lot. You've had maybe not personal experience, a second experience, and you want to be able to be in a relationship with somebody and be committed in that relationship. And from all of the things that you've seen, you're like, I'm not getting it here. It's one of the reasons why people say you can't find love in Lagos. Man, you did, but it's, you know, but it's not the same for a lot of us. I mean, like, we are constantly trying to find that special person, and hopefully one day it comes.
Fair enough. And then when you get into that boat, you now join us selfish people. It's all right.
Okay. My other question. What social expectations on love, relationships, and marriage have you been able to let go of as a man?
Let go of. So I grew up in a very different kind of household with the way my parents were. So there were a lot of things I was open to very quickly. I grew up with people much older than me, so I learned a lot of different things very quickly. So I didn't grow up with a lot of toxic traits, and I'm very glad I didn't. As I grew up and started seeing other people in relationships, I started finding it weird. I'm like, okay, this is weird, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what people say is toxic. Because to me, I just felt like that's out of place. So I don't think there were a lot of social constructs that I sort of grew up holding on to. And then I was also I guess blessed enough to be in a relationship with someone who shared my idea of love and wanted to be in tune with that. So I don't know, maybe the only thing I could say maybe is even the money thing, to be honest. Because I grew up with my dad being someone who would work hard, do everything, and come and tender all the resources to my mom. Yeah. You know, I'd just be like, this is everything. You know, take care of the house, take care, and then go back out again. So with the way I grew up,
I think for me, the one thing I'm gradually letting go of, because I tend to hold on to stuff a lot because I expect it. I'm someone who is very loyal, and I expect that if I give you loyalty, I expect it in return. I've come to realize that in relationships, it's not always the case. And I think that my mom, God bless her soul, she always says this. She says, in a relationship, it can never be 50-50.
True.
This is not about money. It's just like you love someone, it can never be 50-50. So there are days where she said, you know, I love your father 70% and he gave me 30. So other days where he gave me 90, I gave him 10. And I think I've come to realize that Well, initially at that phase where she was telling me, I was like, no, you guys are old. That's why
Old
this is
school.
that. Yeah, but I know as I've entered into series of relationships, or I've had my first share of relationships on heartbreaks, I've come to realize that you can't expect that from your partner, and you also cannot expect that level of communication. For someone like me, I think I'm big on communication. I'm always communicating, expressing my feelings, I wear my emotions on my sleeve and all of that, You also start to realize that in your relationship, doesn't mean that because you are communicative, your partner is going to be communicative as well. They can be upset at something that you did and they wouldn't say it. And because you know your partner, you know it's not all right in this house, or it's not, the vibe is not 100, but they wouldn't speak and they expect you to figure it out. And it's been taking me a while to grasp that this is something that I have to let go of and understand that,
I like how you've been on that particular bit of, people not saying things and wanting you to just sort of figure it out.
Bro,
But I also believe that largely you lead by example. That's in my experience. In my experience. I have been gracious enough to find people who take after the example that I said.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the kind of person I believe if you're saying something, not action speaks louder than the words, right?
Yeah.
So if you're saying something, also do it. And I feel like if you do it consistently enough, the other person would take cue. But then there are some mental people in this world.
They are so stubborn. There's some people, and again,
take your cue away from you.
I think one thing I've also come to realize that it's not that they hate you or they're.
It's just how they are.
Yes, it's who they are, and you have to now make the decision and say to yourself, is this what I'm going to be dealing with? Am I okay with dealing with this for the length of time that I'm going to spend with this person? If you're not, then pull out. But if you are, then you're like, okay, I'm going to stay with this person regardless, because that's what love really is, regardless of who this person is, no matter how stubborn they are, no matter how annoying they can be, no matter how, they like, you want to just,
we are here together.
Yeah, we persevere.
I'm curious, what's the longest you've dated someone?
I think it was like 2 years or just shy of 2 years. That was my last relationship.
Oh, really?
What
happened?
I know that it was mostly tribal differences. She's Igbo, I am Benin. Yeah. And I think from the onset, her mom had already said that, look, this is not going to work, because her elder sister got married to somebody who is also from the East. But because they were not from the same state, it was a huge problem. Yeah. So imagine me coming from those states and they are fighting somebody that's from the East, and you are trying to. So it was already there, but because we were both in love at that time, like we thought that we could trudge on. So when you have that much respect and love for your parents, if it gets to a point where whatever it is that your mom is telling you starts to seep in, no matter how much you are dogged, it will start to play out in your attitude. So for example, maybe you're so tired of your mom pestering you to say this will not work, you need to get somebody else. You come home and then you project that anger that you're feeling or resentment for her on your partner without realizing that you're doing so. And I think that was what played out. Also, the fact that which is very similar to what Ebuka mentioned in mentality with Ebuka, Banky. He had mentioned that one of his relationships, if she did something wrong, he would apologize, and if he did something wrong, he would apologize as well. And that was a big problem. It still was for me, because in my past relationship, in my last relationship, it was very similar, and it got to a point where even though you love this person, you get sick and tired of being the one who is always sorry for something that you know that you are not wrong. And I think it got to that point, it got to the breaking point where I just couldn't deal anymore. In fact, every time we would fight and it would get to maybe a day tops, we didn't speak, I would reach out and would make amends and all of that, So it got to the point where I was sick and tired, and we didn't
just
speak for like 7 days. And on the 7th day,
she didn't call you.
She didn't call me, she didn't text, she didn't do anything. On the 7th day, it was when she reached out, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. Just blocked her. I blocked him. That was the end.
Let me ask my real question, because
that was just side.
I was curious. What does healthy submission or healthy leadership look like to you in a modern relationship? And I like that. That piggybacks off of
what I had said before. Oh boy,
healthy submission or healthy leadership.
Oh my goodness. I think it's so hard to find a balance and mention submission and healthy in the same sentence, because it's almost expected that when you're submissive, everything that your partner says goes. If your man says, where are you? I'm out. Okay, come back home. Like, you'd expect that you will come home. I don't want you to go to that party, and you shouldn't go to the party, and stuff like that. I just feel like, again, it boils down to the understanding of both parties. I've seen many videos where women happily express themselves and mention that they're submissive to their partner and they love the fact that they can be. For me, I think you have to put the woman in such a comfortable place where her feminine energy is expressed enough for her to be submissive. So if you are dating someone and she's hot-headed or dog-headed or somebody who for a long period of time, especially first daughters, they're so used to being the ones who, engineer stuff and do stuff, and they're used to dishing out orders and not receiving them. You have to put them in a place where they are now so happy being the woman, being the passenger princess, that they look forward to that submissive part of the relationship. In fact, I've heard stories or I've seen situations where, in fact, I've been in relationships where, when you're around, your partner is not doing much of the thinking. And not that they don't think, but like they just want you to figure everything out.
And I was missing them. So you like to figure it out.
Do this one now. So I think that's what I would consider as a healthy submission.
Then healthy leadership.
Well, it's pretty much similar. I mean, like if you put her in that comfortable place where you lead and you do stuff, again, it also boils down to maybe what their love language is. If she's big on acts of service and you're always there to champion things that would work out smoothly for her, and you take action and you lead, that again for me is definition of healthy leadership. And I feel like if you are lucky to find a partner who appreciates that, then all of these things that you do, and like Ilu said, she will take a cue from that and be what you want her to be in that relationship. But if she's not, if she doesn't respect you, or she doesn't send all the things that you're doing, if you like, go and bring Donald Trump now. She still would be as stubborn as she's always been. She still would be as adamant as she wants to be, or vice versa.
So do you think healthy leadership can birth healthy submission?
Yes, I think that's the best way to put it.
Fair enough.
All right. So my question is, on that, I think it was the episode with Bovi, right? I think they discussed emotional honesty among men. From your view, do you think that men today open up enough in relationships? Do you think that men express themselves with fellow men about what is going on?
With fellow men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Relationship.
I think most men in a, like, look at mentality as we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're putting it all out on the table, right? There's everything they're talking about it. And Bovi would never in maybe a conversation with women or in a public space like that say he thinks monogamy is a social construct.
He gets free.
Where you get free. That's why I was like, I don't think I should say it, but then you go ahead and say it. So I think most men genuinely, if you find yourself in a healthy space with other guys, like look at us now, we're being honest, we're being open.
Yes.
You understand? I think it's when they find themselves in a relationship with, or in a situation or conversations with women, that sometimes their guard is up, because even in relationships sometimes you don't want to say something because you're like, if we fight tomorrow, I don't want to use this against me.
Exactly, because they will. they will. Don't worry.
Yeah, boy.
Don't worry about it. They will. So I completely agree. I feel like for the most part, it's what the relationships are hard work. Anybody that tells you that it's smooth sailing is just lying. And if we're being honest, since we're talking about honesty, I think for the most part, men that I have been around are not as honest as we are being honest now. I think you just have to, maybe if you have one or two friends that are your friends, and that's why I don't use the term friends loosely. Like, a lot of people say that, Gus, we don't see you amongst your friends. And I do have a lot of people I hang out with. I do have a lot of people I call friends, but those who get to be my inner circle are the ones who are privileged to know what happens when I'm in a relationship, when I'm in a situationship, or whatever the case might be. And I think I value their opinion, which is why I also put them in that space to share what is happening in my relationship. And I think vice versa, they do the same as well. And if you have that strong backbone of male figures that are your friends or family, it becomes easier for you to be honest and just open and be vulnerable, for lack of a better word, to express yourself to them. And invariably, if you have those people behind you who give you such solid advice, they'll tell you. I value friends who tell me more that you messed up, as opposed to the ones that would say, no, you can, because so they tell you like, no, but this thing that you did doesn't make sense. Go and apologize to her. And even if I feel like maybe I was right, but when two people in a relationship are having disagreements, if you take them now to discuss before a third party, they're not coming to say this is where I have a fault. The first thing that comes to mind is, an avalanche of things that the other person has done. Yeah. So do you know that yesterday I came back around 11 p.m. I'm not even showered though. The first thing she's saying is, where are you coming from? So there's always that, and you're throwing blames, and the other party is also doling out blames as well, and nobody's saying okay, fine. And I think that's where, as an individual, I have grown. If I do say so myself, I feel like I'm always quick to point out the points where I have flawed or erred and take responsibility. Yeah.
That's one thing I did try to incorporate in our relationship very early on, where we had a discussion where I said, it is me and you against the problem. You are not the problem, I'm not the problem. It's me and you against the problem. So in our household now, it's a situation if I walk, because I'd read a scenario like this and I thought, oh yeah, this is what I want. So the person that painted the picture and said, two different households. One of them, they both walked down the stairs, someone hit the vase, it fell. The other one, the same thing. Now in one household, it was like, oh, you were rushing. Oh, why didn't you see the vase? Oh, yeah. And in the other one, it was like, oh, I'm so sorry it fell. I hope you're okay. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. Go get a broom. Let's clean this up. Oh, wow, this vase is broken. Oh, we need to buy another one. And the other one is just, you did this and because of you it fell. And it's like, so I'm like, So we had that conversation. It's like, okay, we have to always remember that it is us against the problem and that we're not the problem. Because most times people fight each other. It's like, oh, you are the problem.
Yeah. And I love the fact that what you pointed out was being solution oriented. That's the focus. Like, okay, this happened. How do we solve this? As opposed to laying blames. And again, it comes down to people who actually want to make the relationship work. Again, don't quote me, but I think I saw a video of, was it Timmy Dakolo, where he mentioned that he has an agreement with his partner, his wife, where they don't go to bed angry.
And but let me tell you something about that agreement. Little bit now. Yeah. That's the agreement. It's a good thing. Have the agreement. My brother, it's not easy to keep it.
It's not easy.
See, I'm not saying that Timmy is, bullshitting, but
let's leave it at that.
It's okay. When it comes to love, and actually, before I ask you this, in the spirit of honesty, do you actually want to get married?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Okay, good.
All right. So when it comes to love and relationships, what's that one thing you've learned from the podcast, Mentality with Ebuka podcast?
First of all, it was interesting to get to find out that apparently the owner side of the vehicle is the safest side in the vehicle. That's what I think Bovi mentioned that in the podcast. It was like, people used to make jest of him, or friends would say, his wife is in control because she sits at the owner's side. And it was like, the reason why I do that is because that is the safest part during a collision. So if that happens, the
God is the safest part.
That is the safest part. So it was interesting to get to learn that. But also, again, I think I mentioned this already, the bit where Banky mentioned that it's always good to enjoy your relationship or marriage as opposed to endure. That is it's the most salient point I've heard in a long time. And it stays true to, some of the things that I believe in. And I feel like that's just the gospel. If you want to be in a relationship, enjoy. It shouldn't be a ritual where you wake up in the morning and say, hi, love, hi, baby, I love you, and just move on. Like, you should be happy to be in that relationship. And then, like you have mentioned, where it's you and your partner against the problem. I think if you do that, if you are in that relationship where everything is, me and my partner against the world, it's so much easier to enjoy your relationship because you know that whatever problem you're facing, he's not the cause or she's not the cause. We are going to come together and find a way to end this mess or whatever it is that's happening. And I'm going to make a reference, but don't judge me. One of my favorite shows of all time is House of Cards. Okay. It was played by Kevin Spacey and what's her name? Robin Wright. Yeah. They had the most dysfunctional relationship in the sense that they could do anything for each other. They literally could they could end someone just because they wanted the other party to be happy. Yeah. And I love their love. Of course, at the tail end of the show, you would get to find, I don't spoil it for those who haven't seen it after many years. But that's unadulterated, unfiltered loyalty and love is something that is just ingrained in me.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
You can end someone for someone.
Yeah.
If it's to shoot, I'll shoot for you. I won't kill. Just a bullet.
You know, but I feel like, you know, if you can do that for your kids, because people, a lot of times men say, I'll do anything for my kid, I can do anything for my, why can't you do for your partner as well? So I love the love that they had in that relation. Not the bits where they were both having an open marriage, but like the fact that you know that anything was happening with Frank Underwood, Claire was affected. Anything was happening with Claire, Frank was messed up.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah.
Okay. What I learned from the Mentality with Ebuka podcast, I liked the part where Banky said marriage is the best institution for character building.
Yes.
To build you up. So I'm someone who, I mean, the Holy Spirit worked on it a lot for me. I did used to have a very huge ego. Like, bro, my dad would say, this is your wings, I'll clip it. My dad is a retired army officer. For him to tell his child that
your own is worse.
But in this relation, or in my marriage, one of the things that the Holy Spirit worked on very quickly for me was pride. Because for me, that was like a big thing. You know, it's like, no matter what happens, go and apologize.
True.
No matter what is going on,
True.
go and make the first move. No matter what's going on. And sometimes you are scared because you're like,
why would you always have to be the one
you don't want to get used to it.
Exactly.
You don't want Messi finish no enter. And I remember one day when I was saying that, and the Holy Spirit said to me, if she finish no enter with your wife, who she finish one enter with? Valid. Yeah, because she's seen you in your worst moments. You've seen her in your like, we always make this joke that if for any reason we ever divorce each other, we'll find each other and hunt each other down because there's just too much about my life that you know and vice versa. So your marriage does build you up. It's an institution that builds character. If you're willing to go through it, it is the fire that turns gold into finished product.
I love it.
I think that's it. We're done. Oh my gosh, we're done. Great conversation. Thank you very much, Bella Naija, for having us. This was
Thank you so much. It was good to get a catch up with Ilo again. The last time that he and I met was the game show.
It was all gloves were off
all over the social media. They were like, "Goss, you lost to Ilo." So it's good to be here again, and thankfully this is
my other brother. Blessing. Make sure you catch episodes of Mentality with Ebuka podcast across social media. Just go check it out. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Hey gang, Ilo here, Ilo with the flow.
Hello, my name is Goss, your radio rockstar.
And be sure to watch episodes of Mentality with Ebuka podcast across YouTube, Spotify,
and the likes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Learn a thing or two about it, and maybe you'll be more apprised with relationships as we have.
Yes, basically. Definitely.